Good morning, Atlanta. Today on Play to Win, who's left that will maybe beat UGA? And do the Vols want Bryce Young to play? We'll dig into all that and more coming up next on the fastest 30 minutes in television, football's Play to Win.
Today's show is being brought to you by your Georgia Drive Chevy dealers, Chevrolet, Find New Roads, Bojangles, and Reliable Heating and Air, doing great since '78. Welcome to football's Play to Win with Falcons All-Pro defensive end Chuck Smith, Falcons All-Pro offensive tackle Bob Whitfield, Play to Win expert Jeffrey the Edge Schechter, college and SEC football expert Chris Marler, 680 The Fan morning drive host Brandon Leak, Falcons All-Pro wide receiver Terrence Mathis, and your host Nikki Williams. Today's hometown team report is being brought to you by Montlick Injury Attorneys. Our attorneys know what it takes to win.
It's game day, ATL. Welcome back to another episode of Football's Play to Win. Today's hometown team report is brought to you by Montlick Injury Attorneys. We are here at the amazing Chattahoochee Tech campus with my crew, Bob Whitfield, Terrence Mathis, Brandon Home Team Leak. We've got our hometown report right now to kind of discuss what's going on around the horn. Let's take a look at this top 10 poll, which has had a lot of movement. Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson, all there. I mean, do we think this is the most movement we've seen this early in the game, Terrence?
I do. I don't like 4 and 5. I think Michigan should be at 4 right now. And here you go. How does Alabama go from 1 to 3? Here's a team that has won 2 games with a backup quarterback, and they're getting punished for that. Georgia, they're playing very well. They're beating teams they're supposed to beat and beating them really bad. But are they number 1? Well, they got to be number 1 because they're the defending champions. Ohio State is one of those teams that's in flux right now because we know that they start fast and finish slow. So we're going to see a movement in that top 4 in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Hey, T, I'm going to tell you like this. I like it. I like the fact that they jumping, they're doing all this stuff because what you get is no one's secure in their spot. You got to win big, win dominant. You got to show up, show out. And I say the team that I'm looking for, USC and Tennessee.
Wow.
To jump up in there.
Brandon, you're a wizard. So I'm going to let you tell us, using your wizard powers, what that top 4 is going to look like at the end of the season.
Different. It's not looking like this to finish the season. I think Alabama and the games that are ahead for them, plus what's going on with Bryce Young, eventually is going to catch up with them. And I think you look at a USC team that's undefeated, Oklahoma State, if they can go undefeated and become champions, this list is not going to remain the same. And I think we finally get to see some new guys move in to the college football playoffs. It's the same dancers doing the same dance every single year. And I think this year might be the year that it's a little bit different.
So you're saying there's not going to be 2 SEC teams?
N-O-E.
Yes.
No.
Bob, what do you think is going to happen at the end? What's the big shakeup you see coming?
All right, hey, this is for my big homie Chuck Smith, VFL, Vol for Life. Tennessee is going to make the playoffs. After they run through Alabama, Tennessee is going to make the playoffs. Let's go, Orange.
You and Chuck on your island over there. Guys, we're just getting warmed up. When we come back, we're going to talk about week 3 in college football. You don't want to miss it, and it's all coming up next on Football's Play to Win.
When choosing a law firm, what is it that really matters most?
At Montlick & Associates, we have the legal talent, resources, and reputation for winning big cases. We have big goals, big results, and have received some pretty big honors.
But we're not so big that you'll ever feel small or unimportant. At Montlick & Associates, giving our clients excellent service is what matters most.
If you've been hurt, we're here to help.
Just outside of a town called Basic is Basic Lake, where families gather together for some basic fun. And if you have the 2022 Nissan Rogue, with a VC turbo engine and 5 drive modes, you can climb above Basic and find a trail where no one else goes. The 2022 Nissan Rogue. Anything but basic.
Get 1.9% for 36 months on Rogue, or shop our inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles.
At Reliable Heating and Air, every day we roll out before the sun rises. We carry a lot in our trucks and use cutting-edge technology, and work late so you can sleep easier. We get uncomfortable to restore your comfort and keep you warm all winter long. Heating, cooling, hot water, plumbing, and electrical. Our results make us always reliable.
Get any size furnace for just $59.99 a month.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job, so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get $1,500 total cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, now during truck season, get $1,000 accessory allowance toward a new Chevy truck with accessories. Georgia drives Chevy. Find new roads.
Today's SEC and ACC report is being brought to you by your Southeastern Nissan dealer.
Welcome back. It is time for our SEC ACC report brought to you by Greater Atlanta Nissan. I can't believe I'm saying this. Chris Marler, welcome back, but we are already halfway through the season. Who do you think the biggest surprise has been this far in the SEC? And I'm talking like good or bad.
Good or bad. I would have to say this is, it's not a very popular or unpopular opinion. I guess Mississippi State. I feel like Mississippi State's a lot better of a football team than we give them credit for. Will Rogers is a lot better of a quarterback than we give him credit for, but that defense is really, really good.
I got to say Tennessee. If anybody at the beginning of the season said halfway through they would be not only the top 10 but be the 6th ranked team in the nation, I think those people would deserve a whole lot of credit because nobody saw that coming. Hendon Hooker and that offense, they are running 200 miles an hour in order to get up to the line of scrimmage. It's worked every single week, and I think they can have a little bit of a machine if they can get past this bump in the road this week. They can find themselves getting a lot of love from a lot of writers and a lot of voters.
Bob, who's got your socks shocked off? Say that 3 times fast.
Yeah. Well, I think what we said with Alabama having to win with the backup quarterback the last 2 weeks, and we don't know, is the main guy going to play? Is your main quarterback going to play? And what the defense had to do for Alabama to win some of those games. So I think what you have is teams have to be resilient. If they got to go too deep to win, do they got the manpower to do it?
I regret so much of the trash talk that I have said on the set. I just want all of you to know.
I love that you regret anything. Guys, let's have us a college football showdown of the week, though, shall we?
Today's showdown of the week is being brought to you by This Is It Southern Kitchen and Barbecue. Real food for real people.
Well, would you look at that? Alabama at Tennessee. Right when you thought you were done talking about them, they are back. Can Alabama win this game without Bryce Young, Chris?
No, they cannot. Okay. They cannot. I've watched this series my entire life. I'm not too young or old. I don't know how the saying goes. I'll be honest, guys. I'm not too old to remember Peyton Manning and the Vols beating Bama for 7 straight years. It seems like a distant memory because they've won 15 in a row. They will lose by double digits if Bryce Young doesn't play. I
got to say, you don't ever bet against Bama. Bottom line is Saban keeps them in. It might not be a big margin. They win close games, too, and winning close is not a bad thing in the SEC. So it certainly will be a lot more difficult, but I don't think you could ever say Alabama can't win a game.
Now, Bob, you've got an interesting perspective. You've said that Tennessee wants Bryce Young healthy, and history would actually back you up. Can you explain that a little bit?
Because if you want to win the Heisman and you want to be the top quarterback in Hooker, you want to play the top quarterback in Young. And what you know is this has happened before. You beat the champ. You got to go beat the best dude out there. And I think if I was Hendon Hooker, I want to play Bryce Young and beat him.
I wouldn't disagree with that. And also, look, but if you're a betting man, right?
Yeah.
This is the first time I've ever said this. I've made a lot of money off this Hooker, okay? and if you bet on Tennessee, bet on them early in that first half. You never know what Bama does late.
I can't wait for the next Hooker joke next week. Bottom line is this game is going to come down to speed and timing. And the bottom line is Tennessee is going to be the speedy team and the timing of Alabama's defense stepping up pretty big. And when you look at the fact that there could be a quarterback change, Bryce Young could play and then he could come out of the game. Then how does that change some things? But I think it's going to come down to speed and timing. And will the speed of Tennessee be too much for the timing of Alabama's defense to catch up? I think it's going to be a fantastic game. Might be one of the games of the year in the SEC without a doubt. And I think that offense of Tennessee will be tested, and I think they will show up to be able to perform on a big stage.
On the spot, who's going to win?
Alabama.
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Well, The good news is I know how to find you guys to trash talk you later if
give
you're
me this
wrong.
one lip blocker.
Somebody's going to be wrong, guys. When we come back, we're going to talk about UGA. Who's left in the mix that can still beat them? It's all coming up next on Football's Play to Win.
Just outside of a town called Basic is Basic Lake, where families gather together for some basic fun. And if you have the 2022 Nissan Rogue, with a VC turbo engine and 5 drive modes, you can climb above Basic and find a trail where no one else goes. The 2022 Nissan Rogue. Anything but basic.
Get 1.9% for 36 months on Rogue, or shop our inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles.
It's bill paying day at the Hendersons.
Even higher than last month.
A day of dread and unwanted surprises.
We use that much water? Really?
With one notable exception.
Now that's what I'm talking about. Up high, Mr. Meter.
With the simple one price plan from Gas South, you pay the same amount every month with no deposits and no surprises.
Hey, you Gas South guys have a cell phone plan?
Gas South. The difference is good.
It's bow time. Get fired up tonight because Bojangles has your dinner covered. Southbound, scratch made. Not one of these, but one of these. That's more home cooking for your money. Order your family meal on the app tonight. It's bow time.
When you're entering the arena, how do you outdo the competition? Easy. You outhandle them. Outhaul them. Outpack them. Then, you outgrind, outsplash, and flat out outtruck them. And when car and driver put the Honda Ridgeline to the test, the Ridgeline proved its amazing capability. Contact your Honda dealer to learn more or shop online.
Today's University of Georgia Report is being brought to you by Beaver Toyota, your fastest and smartest way to shop for your next vehicle.
Welcome back. I'm in Bulldog Red today for the Dog Report, brought to you by Beaver Toyota. That's right. I'm headed up to Athens here in a little bit. But Chris, I'll start off with you on this one. Georgia's offense looked a little better last week. Do we think it was the opponent that made the difference, or was their offense just better?
Now, Nikki, listen, I want you to brace yourself. I'm going to say something positive here again about Georgia. Yeah, I know. It's just few and far between. I think it was honestly mainly it was the offense for Georgia. They did what they've been trying to do all year, which is impose their will in the run game. And I thought that Munkin's kind of done it in a stubborn way almost, where he just refuses to do anything but that on the first 2 drives of the game. It paid off. They ran for almost 300 yards, like you were saying off air. And on a side note, I'm so thrilled that you get to go up there and see them play a big game against Vandy today. It should be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be real fun because they're going to blow them out. Nicky going to be asleep at halftime in the stadium. What happened? But the offense is clicking. I think when you have that many weapons on that offense, you can tight ends, running backs, receivers, head coach, the water boy, everybody involved. Even the bulldog on the sideline scoring touchdowns.
We've said it before, and we've seen things go sideways before, so I'm actually going to keep my tie tight on my neck and just keep my fingers crossed, guys. Let's look at the remaining UGA schedule. Do you see any sleeper wins out of there? I mean, do you see a loss for Georgia at all?
It's about over. They have Vandy today, and I think the bigger thing is the bye week comes up after that. When you talk about Jalen Carter being nicked up, you talk about Kendall Milton and Kenny McIntosh being nicked up, and Stetson Bennett also, his name came up on the injury report with a shoulder. That's the perfect time for the Dog to get ready for the final march to the end of the season. And then you start looking at what they have. You got Tennessee, you have Florida, and you have Mississippi State. After that, you pretty much are on final approach to the ability to have an undefeated season once again.
You are sleeping on Brent Key down at Georgia Tech.
They are doing some good things down on the flats. It would be a wonderful win for the Jackets. I don't think Kirby Smart wants to get to the very end and have that derail the season.
That would be hilarious, though. I will say that. As much as I've given Georgia a hard time about their schedule, that is a tough 3-game stretch when you play Florida at a neutral site, then you also play Tennessee at home, and then you get at Mississippi State with those Cowbells. Now, I will say this. Can we just all agree, no matter what our allegiances are, that Edwards is your running back? He is RB1. I don't know why we keep throwing out Milton and McIntosh in the backfield. Put Edwards in the backfield, Kirby, if you're listening. I don't know what camera to look at. If you're watching the show like I know you do, Edwards is your RB1.
More than 6 yards a carry, I think it's easy to pencil him right on.
Yeah.
We'll see if Kirby watches the show and if he gives you a shout out after the win.
He will.
I'm sure he will.
We have the same hairdresser.
The keys to Well, then God bless them. Guys, when we come back, we're going to shift our focus over to the Dirty Birds. We're just getting started. Stick with us. We'll be right back on Football's Play to Win.
Today's show is being brought to you by Montlick Injury Attorneys. Our attorneys know what it takes to win. McDonald's and Beaver Toyota.
Time. We all need more time. And now with Beaver Direct, we're giving you just that. Linda Beaver here to show you how Beaver Direct has quickly become Atlanta's favorite way to buy their next vehicle. Shop from the comfort of your home. Choose a vehicle and one of our on-site specialists will live video chat you and give a complete walk around of the vehicle. Then get a price and payment in minutes. Sign all your paperwork digitally and have your vehicle delivered to you within an hour. Visit us at beavertoyotacoming.com and see how Beaver Direct gives you back your time.
Back again, huh? You must love losing.
You're buying the next one.
You gotta win one first.
Okay.
Mix and match your two favorites for $3.29 at any size soft drink for $1. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
We get uncomfortable to restore your comfort. Our commitment is what makes us reliable. Heating, cooling, hot water, plumbing, and electrical. Our results make us always reliable.
Only $24.99 a month for a new water heater.
When you come to Wayfield Foods, everything is laid out very nice. You'll find farm fresh produce, the best prices in town on fresh chicken, pork chops, meaty ribs, steak, and more. Stock up and save at Wakefield Foods, the meat people.
Today's Atlanta Falcons report is being brought to you by your Georgia Drive Chevy dealers. Chevrolet, find new roads.
Welcome back. It's time to talk about those Dirty Birds. It's our Falcons report brought to you by Georgia Drives Chevy. Welcome back to the mix. Terrence Mathis going to break down all things Falcons football. 49ers at Falcons. Now, the Falcons are 2-3, but their biggest margin they've seen is 6 points. Can a team finish?
Well, when the clock strikes zero, it's finished. So they are finishing, but they're not winning. Here's the thing. At some point, you got to get the ball to your best players, and you got to put them in position to win. And this is not what this Falcons team is doing. Now, early in the game, you can't play from behind in all 5 games. And you can't do it this week against the 49ers, or you're going to get blown out. So here it is. Play to win from the first snap to the last snap, and then you will finish the game on a positive note.
I like that good shameless play to win plug right there. Hey, they got to play to win.
Familiar?
I'm going to tell you who's been playing to win. It's Grady Jarrett, even though he got hosed on that sack call. But what he's been doing is providing a little oomph to that defense. And, the secondary, even our best quarter, A.J. Terrell, has been giving up some big plays to some of the top receivers out there. So you need Grady Jarrett to do what he's been doing. He's been dominating that interior pass rush and keeping the Falcons' defense in these games and making plays for him. So they got to kind of live with the defense, making stops, getting the ball back, and the offense score more points.
Before we go to Brandon on the next one, here it is. In the NFL, your quarterback can complete 57% of his balls and only throw the ball 20 times a game to win a football game. You want to finish? Let's get to 30, 35 times and complete 65 to 70% of your balls in a game, and you're winning football games.
Throw a lot of them to Drake London.
Yes.
Well, I know you guys are thinking it. I'm just going to say it. Brandon, you think the Falcons are cursed?
Pardon me, I'm not yelling at you. My voice carries. No, the Falcons are not cursed. They are a good franchise. They aren't a great franchise because they don't have the things and haven't had the things you need to be a great franchise. You need great coaching, you need great players, and you need great execution at the biggest moments. Even getting jobbed last week with Grady Jarrett being called for one of the worst penalties in the history of the NFL, you were down 21-0. So you don't execute for 3 quarters, you get caught at the end of the game. The bottom line is the Falcons, when they recruit better players, the Falcons when they get better coaching, and the Falcons when they start closing out games repeatedly and finishing, they will become a great franchise, but they are not cursed. There are no curses, and you make some of your own future and your destiny if you do things right for 4 quarters, and this looks like the team that can do it. These guys were great Falcon players. We need about 200 more of these guys, and we can find our way to greatness.
Reverend, preach.
Give me a robe and a collection plate. I'll tell you some more about the Falcons.
You guys have any thoughts on whether or not the Falcons are, I know you've got all the opinions on it. You guys have been there. Have you ever just been like, heck, we're cursed?
you always hear the word snake bitten. You know, you be in games and something happens where it turns the tide of the game and you end up losing it. And then, you know, when it starts to happen, you look at each other and say, oh, here we go again. And I promise you that's happening on that Falcon sideline.
I know you felt it before, guys. Stick with us. When we come back, we're going to shift our focus around the rest of the NFL. It's all coming up next on Football's Play to Win.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job, so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get $1,500 total cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, now during truck season, get a $1,000 accessory allowance toward a new Chevy truck with accessories. Georgia drives Chevy. Find new roads.
School buses are back on the road. After the summer, our kids are ready to reunite with classmates, teammates, and friends. Georgia, let's help our children enjoy the new school year with the protection they need. COVID-19 vaccine and booster. It's that simple.
Just outside of a town called Basic is Basic Lake, where families gather together for some basic fun. And if you have the 2022 Nissan Rogue, with a VC turbo engine and 5 drive modes, you can climb above Basic and find a trail where no one else goes. The 2022 Nissan Rogue. Anything but basic.
Get 1.9% for 36 months on Rogue, or shop our inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles.
You just bought a new house. Now you've got to move. Nobody likes to move. That's why you call Atlanta Peach Movers. Your choice for the best move. No job is too big or too small, and you can be assured your belongings will get where they need to be on time and in one piece. Our in-house training facility ensures our team is ready to offer you unmatched service and a no-hassle moving experience. For the best value in the business, call Atlanta Peach Movers for a free quote today.
Today's NFL report is being brought to you by Reliable Heating and Air, doing great since '78.
Welcome back. We're taking it around the NFL. Our NFL report is brought to you by Reliable Heating and Air. It's an exciting weekend in the NFL. Arguably the top 4 teams playing. A lot's on the line right now. Let's start breaking it down with the Cowboys at the Eagles. Terrence, what stands out to you in this game?
NFC East battle right here. What stands out to me is Cooper Rush, the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Right now, he's playing championship caliber football. He's getting the football out of his hands. He's getting the football in the playmaker's hands. Even Ezekiel Elliott is playing ball right now, and that defense is outstanding. But we're looking at the other side with the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts. All this talk about, are we going to bring Deshaun Watson in and replace him and this and that? All he's doing is putting up MVP numbers. And this team is rallying around him on both sides of the ball, so this is going to be a heavyweight fight, and I can't wait to see it.
Oh, yeah, T, because I love the way Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown is playing. Oh, the way that chemistry is going, and then he still got his boy from Bama Smith, so it's like he has taken that team to a next level because he is balling out there like he was when he was in college. So it's one of those things that he seems so confident and comfortable commandeering that team. So I just like the way they're playing.
And defense on both sides. Have to give Dan Quinn a lot of credit, defensive coordinator in Dallas. They're number one in a lot of statistical defensive categories. The way they've been able to control the game, Micah Parsons just looks like he is a maniac every single Sunday and getting to the quarterback, wreaking havoc. And then what you're able to do on both sides with the defensive pressures you're able to get. I think this is going to be a fantastic low-scoring game and a physical game, old school NFC East football.
Bob, Bills at Chiefs. That's another hot one.
Oh, yeah. It's arguably the 2 best quarterbacks in the league right there. And what you get is, I like the Bills quarterback. I just like because he's so big and statuesque. He runs, he throws deep, got that moxie. But then Patrick Mahomes, he's throwing underhanded, overhanded, behind his back. It's like a dang masterpiece of arm slinging, gun slingers. This is going to be so fantastic to watch this game.
I don't care if the over-under is 80. I take the over. This is going to be one of the most fun games in the NFL this season. Those quarterbacks and those offenses.
Well, guys, if you like hearing predictions, stick with us because coming up next, it's time for our predictions. Stay with us. We'll be right back on Football's Play to Win.
We carry a lot in our trucks and use cutting-edge technology. Our experience is what makes us reliable. Heating, cooling, hot water, plumbing, and electrical. Our results make us always reliable.
Get any size furnace for just $59.99 a month.
Wouldn't it be awesome if you could buy your next vehicle without going to the dealership? Now you can with Beaver Direct. It's fast and really simple. Log into BeaverToyotaComing.com, click on Beaver Direct, quietly shop from hundreds of vehicles, obtain a credit approval and trade appraisal in minutes.
After an accident, how well you recover financially affects much more than you realize. It's more than just paying your medical bills and fixing your car. It's about what's been taken away from you and the impact it will have on you and your family for the rest of your life. That's why at Montlick & Associates, we fight so hard, holding the insurance companies accountable and taking it to trial if needed. If you've been seriously hurt, protect your future. Speak to a Montlick injury attorney today.
Just outside of a town called Basic is Basic Lake, where families gather together for some basic fun. And if you have the 2022 Nissan Rogue, with a VC turbo engine and 5 drive modes, you can climb above Basic and find a trail where no one else goes. The 2022 Nissan Rogue, anything but basic.
Get 1.9% for 36 months on Rogue, or shop our inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles.
This is it. Southern Kitchen and Barbecue has real value for real people. Want lunch? Try our new delicious lunch value menu with 12 items under $12. Want dinner? Try our all-new everyday value menu with the new freshly prepared delicious lemon pepper fried whitey nuggets. They are featured in both menus. Order online at thisisitbbq.com. Real value for real people. Union City Store now open.
Today's college and NFL predictions report is being brought to you by the Georgia Department of Public Health. Vaccination is the best tool to protect lives and stop the spread of COVID-19 in Georgia.
Welcome back. It's time now for our college and NFL predictions with the man of the hour, Jeffrey "The Edge" Schechter. We've been waiting for it, Jeffrey. Take us through those picks.
I'm only a man of 1 hour? Okay. Kansas TCU was a great game last week. The Kansas quarterback got hurt. The backup played great, except for one bad interception. I don't see how Kansas could be a 9-point underdog to Oklahoma. They're terrible. So take the 9 with Kansas. Best game of the year, Alabama at Tennessee. Tennessee getting 7. I think Tennessee beats them straight up. Take the 7 with the Vols. Penn State, Michigan, that'll be a rough, tough game. 2 tough teams. I like Penn State with the points. In the pros, I like Cincinnati over New Orleans, giving the 2.5. New Orleans defense isn't much. Cincinnati should pick them apart. New York Giants, +5. Well, you ever realize Baltimore scores early and then they don't score anymore? Take the Giants with the 5. And Dallas or Philly. Philly has some offense. They got a decent defense. I got to give Dallas credit, but I'm going to give the 6 with Philly. Good luck, everybody.
And Jeffrey, great news. You don't have to be just a man of the hour because you're with us every week. And thank you so much to our friends here at Chattahoochee Tech. We appreciate you guys having us here all season long in studio. And we will see all of you next week. Again, same time, same place, Saturday, 9 a.m. on Fox 5 for another episode of Football's Play to Win.
Today's show has been brought to you by This Is It Southern Kitchen and Barbecue, Atlanta Peach Movers, Wayfield Foods, and your Atlanta Nissan dealers.